if I get this out when I plan to, this will be my first actual, like, unscripted video on this channel. And I want to do it because it's been a very long time since I've played Sonic 4 at all. I did release the review I did recently, obviously, on this channel. That was actually a re-upload on from my main channel from a long time ago. And I just wanted to play this game again. However, this is the Wii version. Oops, immediately messed up. I am significantly more familiar with the Steam version, and oh my goodness, okay, I'm doing so good at this game. Anyway, this game version looks so much better, I've noticed, in my opinion, at least. I don't know how like different it actually is, but just from first impressions of the tiny bit of this version that I have played, it is pretty different. Also, I think there's a homing attack chain up here. And it's my fault for not hitting it because I was being a coward. And I wanted to do this video because it's going to take me a lot less time to make than the Sonic 06 review that I'm working on. Because, well, to give an example, or to give rather a reference point as to how long that's going to take me, I am like 5,000 words into the script or something like that. I'm pretty far into the script is the point. And I'm about halfway through the second level. So that's going to be a bit... But I wanted to have a video out at some point that isn't going to be, you know, a month from now. I'm hoping I can dedicate a little bit more of the coming couple weeks to that video. So hopefully it'll be out a little bit sooner than I'm anticipating. But I thought that replaying Sonic 4 for the first time in a long time would be fun, especially to like have my thoughts recorded since I haven't played it since I did for the review a long time ago. And I don't know, I remember really liking this game, so hopefully I'll still really like it. Oops. The one thing that I don't like about the giant ring past the goalpost in these special stages is that you can easily just run past it if you're going too quickly at the end of the stage. That's like the one thing that I do not like about that special stage entrance. I do, however, prefer it over the checkpoint special stages and the... what is it? Isn't it just like random hidden stuff in Sonic 3? Pretty sure that's what it is. Oh, really? I missed that many? Yeah. Here we go. These are obviously less motion sickness inducing than the Sonic 1 special stages, just because they're not, like, constantly moving. But, I don't know. I can still see why they would be motion sickness inducing. But regardless of that, they're actually one of my favorite special stages. I mean, granted, not much competition. A lot of Sonic games have pretty special stages, but I would say this is not one of them. Most of them are like weirdly difficult to control or look really weird or whatever. Like I've been trying to play Sonic Advance recently, and the special stages in that game are impossible to tell like where you're at and everything. I will say that the ones in this game are a little bit long-winded. I wouldn't say as bad as, you know, Sonic 2 or even 4 Episode 2, but regardless. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Episode 2 in a similar video to this. I just wanted to do Episode 1 because I remember really liking Episode 1. Wow, what a great time to say that I like this game. Anyway, I like this game. I think it's cool. I think a lot of people don't like it for weird reasons. I know that a lot of my Sonic opinions are very against the grain, and I don't do that on purpose, I swear. Like, I've been loving Sonic 06, and Sonic 06 is widely considered to be the worst Sonic game, right? Sonic and the Black Knight is one of my favorite Sonic games, and, well, saying that that's a popular choice would be wrong. Is that platform supposed to be jittering? I wonder if that's just like an emulator thing because I'm playing at a high resolution or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm playing this on my Wii with a upscaling mod. I don't know. Nintendo, please don't sue me. Is the point. Actually, would that even fall under Nintendo's jurisdiction at that point? Because it's not like they can even get money from it anymore. I don't know. That's not the point. Yeah, so a lot of what I talked about in my original Sonic 4 video, Sonic 4 Episode 1 video, rather, is, like, it's very noticeable to me, I think, in that all of this is, like, very, how do I even... It's very stop-and-go platforming, right? So the platforming itself, you stop, slow down, But then there's also speed sections that lead into platforming if you know that it's there, right? So it incentivizes replaying stages, as opposed to Sonic 4 Episode 2, where the speed sections precede mandatory platforming sections, which I don't necessarily like. And certain mandatory platforming sections can also, go a bit faster than you would want, whatever, that kind of thing. And, I don't know, there are other Sonic games that have the stop and go level design, and I found that a lot of them I do like, but then, Black Knight is one of my favorite Sonic games now after I've played it, and that game very much does not do that, right? Obviously, because you're constantly moving no matter what, which is the exact opposite of what I expressed as one of my favorite things in this game. So I don't really know how to justify that discrepancy, but I don't think it really matters. I don't know. Different things work for different games, I guess, is the thing. Also, I played this on my Steam Deck last time I played this, and for some reason, this is so much easier. Like, I guess it's on a bigger screen, but it also feels easier to control, and I don't know how true that is. That special stage took me, like, 3 or 4 attempts. And granted, I do, know it slightly better, because, I played it, last month or whatever, but still. Was that last month? I think it was 2 months ago, actually. Either way. Anyway, yeah, I really like the level design in this game. I brought it up in the short that I made about Dusty Desert, Sonic's second stage in Sonic 06. I've been making shorts about a couple levels in Sonic 06. Obviously, I've only done 2 levels so far. I am planning on doing at least, I don't know, at least one more, probably a couple more based on how much I end up liking the levels I come across and what I want to share about the levels. We'll see. I know somebody wanted me to do the tropical jungle, like Sonic's tropical jungle, because it's an Elise level, but they said that it would have worked better with Sonic's normal moveset, and I don't know how true that is, but I guess I'll see once I play it. Well, I mean, I played it, obviously, but once I actually properly analyze that level, because I don't remember particularly disliking it or feeling like it was wasted potential or whatever, but I also don't remember particularly loving it or anything. Also, multiple ways to get to the upper path, one just being slower, but still harder than the normal path, I think is really good level design. I think this game overall has really good level design, and I really don't understand why people dislike this game so much. Actually, honestly, I think a lot of dislike for different Sonic games, this one included, comes from the mechanics not being exactly the same as other Sonic games. Rather than the level design itself being bad. So Sonic 06 has incredible level design. I think everyone who's played it can attest to that, right? Regardless of how buggy it is or whatever. But in my opinion, the level design complements the game itself very, very well. But I know a lot of people don't like the game because the way you engage with the level design is in a way that they don't prefer, rather than the level design properly complementing the game itself. If that makes sense, right? So I think the level design is good because it complements the game that it is in, which makes the game itself better, as opposed to how you engage with the level design being good. Therefore, the game itself is good regardless of the level design. Does that make sense? I like Sonic 06 and Sonic 4 Episode 1, which are considered to be less than stellar Sonic games by the wider fan base, because of the level design, and I think the level design itself complements the game very, very well. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily hold to that same view, right? I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense. This is obviously unscripted. These are just thoughts that are coming to my mind as I play this. You'll have to let me know how off base I am and how wrong I'm being in post, I guess. Also, that's a lot of rings. I should have been collecting rings this whole time. I don't know if rings not in this area actually contribute to that number. I haven't played these special stages enough to know. I know that the timer is right here, or the time thing, time bonus. And that's as far as I've played, or well, after the special stage will be as far as I've played recently. So, come on. God, this is so stressful. I know I have, I had 10 seconds to spare, but that's still very stressful. I forgot the bosses had their own act. Yeah, you can't ever play a Supersonic in any of the boss acts, obviously. You can in episode 2, which I covered in the full video, if you've watched that. and whether or not, you know, the merits of forcing you to not be supersonic in the bosses. You can argue that. I don't think either way is particularly better. I just prefer that in episode 1. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to dodge that actually. I prefer that you can't in episode 1 because it makes the bosses mechanical challenges you're forced to engage with, as opposed to, oh well, actually if I have done the special stages, I get to skip fighting the bosses entirely, which I don't think is as fun. But again, I understand the merits of both, and I don't think I necessarily prefer one over the other to a major degree. And it's not like you can't just engage with the bosses by your own choice. What act will it take me to if I just click next act? Because you can go to Casino Street. Okay, I think I did the other one first in my last playthrough of this game. And that felt correct, because I remember Casino Street feeling more difficult than the other area. I think it was the roller coaster area, right? I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know, the lighting just looks better in this version. I don't know if I'm off base for saying that, but like the Wii version, so far as I'm seeing, just looks better than the Steam version. I think the mobile version also looks like the Wii version. Is it just like a resolution thing on the Steam version? Does the Steam version just have a weirdly low resolution lock? I don't know. Oops. There you go. Oops. I feel like this is the point where I'm gonna be like cutting out more stuff. I missed that checkpoint. Just because of the stuff that I do want to show, it's gonna be, or I'm gonna be talking less, I guess. So inherently, there's just gonna be less stuff I want to show. I don't know how true that is though, I guess. I do want to like talk about the level design as I go, but when it's just, you know, pinball. I think this is a fun, unique platforming challenge. Like, in terms of gimmicks, right? Because this game does very much have focused gimmicks. I think this gimmick is probably the least... I don't know, I hesitate to say offensive, because that's not right. The least, like, jarring gimmick, right? As opposed to balancing in the Labyrinth zone level. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, let me out, please. Where the hell am I going? What is my goal? Certainly not this. Please don't. Oh my god. That's so mean. Was there... I mean, I'm sure there was a way up. There was a checkpoint there, but I have no idea how to get up where I was trying to. This works too, I guess. The lower route being easier, like, to the point where it specifically communicates that by giving you the invincibility power-up, I think is really interesting. Like, obviously it's easier to get to, because it's the lower route, you just drop down to get to it, right? But the fact that it's like so explicitly communicating, hey, you're on the easy path by, you know, giving you an invincibility power-up, I think is really funny. It's like honestly kind of inviting you to analyze the level design, which I think is fun. I like it when games encourage analysis of level design via exploration or replaying or whatever. Also, barely made it with 50 rings, jeez. So like Sonic 06, Dusty Desert has a ton of different interconnected paths, right? And I think that basically forces you to engage with the level design itself. Didn't get an extra life, that sucks. Probably, or yeah, because of time bonus. Anyway, I feel like that it forces you to engage with the level design itself, which a lot of games I feel like don't do very much of, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, sure, there are games that encourage exploration in a lot of ways, but not in a way that would want you to explore the level design itself as the game. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense at all, but that's just kind of how my mind sees it. Let me out, please. Help. Okay. No! Oh. I will say... Wait, can you? Okay, I was gonna say, I will say it would be cool if you could select special stages that you have entered but haven't actually completed from here, so, you know, you don't have to, like, replay levels or whatever, but... Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the other game. It was of episode 2. You go to... Or I went to the snow level before. I think it was the desert level or something. I don't remember. I wonder how much score as opposed to time like matters for getting the good rank in this level. Like just from doing casino stuff. Also, I know it's contentious, but one thing that I do really, really like about this game is that being in a ball doesn't gain you momentum like it did in the classics. I mean, it just makes sense that it wouldn't, right? Sonic has to exert energy to gain more momentum, as opposed to just getting more of it by being a ball. Honestly, a lot of the upper paths in this level seem to be, or at least in this game, rather, seem to be more focused on exploration than like reaction tests as well. Like you can access them via reaction tests, but if you're willing to just like slow down and explore a bit, you're also going to access those upper paths, which can kind of be said for the classics, but a lot of them will have like moving platforms that you won't necessarily see if you're not going fast, or, you know, other similar things. Like there are instances of platforms that will fall as you're traversing them, so you need to go fast to access the upper path, or like needing that momentum to get to the upper path as well is really common. That was scary. No, please. Everything's fine. Okay, just don't hit the bumpers, please. Cool. I do like that the special stages take like actual level design principles, like as in each one has its own focus. Like that one is obviously avoid the bumpers at all costs to get through, as opposed to like the third one. Was the second or third? Third one, where you have to go through as quickly as possible in order to reach the end in time. And like they're not particularly difficult or whatever, but they do still follow those actual game design principles, as opposed to, you know, whatever the hell Sonic 1 did with them. Also, Jesus, that's so many extra lives. Oh wait, this is like a poker thing, right? Where you need to get a certain number of the thing to get the thing. I'm not sure how true that is. Oops. Yeah, like I mentioned in my full video, the specifically timed rotating card platforms, not these ones, but the ones that like rotate on cycles. Like normally I wouldn't enjoy cycles in a game like this, these ones. But in this instance, I think they work really well, because obviously it diminishes discouragement if you're, you know, not doing perfectly, because there's only, you know, such a good cycle you can get regardless. And then, you know, if you happen to get the perfect cycle, it feels way better as well. So it just, they feel good to get to use and to play around and stuff. And like I said in the video that it had to do with me playing Marble It Up a lot recently, but I haven't actually played Marble It Up in a very long time, so I can say with confidence that that is not the Marble It Up talking this time. I should play that game again. I got really close to 100%ing it, but once I got to some of the bonus stages, it ended up getting really, really difficult. So I never ended up actually getting all of them. I think I 100%ed like the first 2 or 3 bonus areas. I don't know. Marble It Up Ultra specifically. Highly recommend if you're into like momentum-based platformers, and especially marble games. Some of the best marble games I've ever played, or, you know, one of the best marble games I ever played, obviously. Yeah, these kind of cycles. Where like earlier, you know, you're just trying to get past them, but in this instance, you have to like time your platforming with them. And again, you can only get such a good cycle, right? Regardless of how fast you're going, so this is an interesting obstacle. Reminds me of, is it 8-4? Is that the only one in the original Super Mario Bros. That has the maze? I don't know, but it's more obviously like a maze in that way, right? So I think it does it better. No! Does that kill me? Oh, I should have jumped. I'm gonna blame myself for that one. Also, not matching myself to the cycle perfectly. I'm gonna restart the level then. If that's the end. So just so I can get the Chaos Emerald from here. Obviously, I could just keep playing and get the Chaos Emerald later, but I don't know. For me personally, it feels better to get them as soon as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them as soon as possible. The cards are very satisfying, by the way. I don't know how well that comes through with like watching someone do this, but yeah, the cards they're very, very satisfying to run past. There we go, and I think I got the upper path this time. I didn't last time. Oops. Well, okay, I got some of the upper path this time. I'm just exploring the whole level, making sure to check everything. Also, using the bumpers for platforming is a really fun mechanic that I don't think Sonic games do often enough. Like, obviously, the original did it a little bit on certain obstacles, but there was very little platforming that you actually had to, you know, use the bumpers themselves for. And overall, I don't think that's a very well-utilized mechanic in any Sonic game, including this one, just because of how underutilized it really is. Having that thing you can homing attack at the end of the area like that with the jumps, I think makes a lot of sense, because then you can not have to do the whole platforming section perfectly. I think that's done really well. Also, using a homing attack to build up your speed faster there is cool. I really like the homing attack. I like that the homing attack is in this game, because it's not in enough 2D games, I feel, because of how much it enhances the platforming in a lot of ways, and can be used for unique obstacles and everything. I question what the theme of this is. Oh, I have to collect enough rings. Okay, to open the gate. I think that was it. I think that was the sound. Cool. So far, so good. I didn't get trapped. Oh, that time I did get trapped, though. Of course. No. Gotta avoid getting trapped enough times to make it to the end in time. I wonder how feasible it is to make it to the end while getting trapped every single time. Probably not very. Once again, very stressful, even though I probably have more than enough time to do this. No! Damn it! I got greedy because I was scared of the timer. The more I play this, the more I think of the homing attack in a very similar spot to the drop dash, because the drop dash, you know, fundamentally changes how Sonic the Hedgehog plays, right? In that, if you're playing a game with the drop dash, it's just going to be different fundamentally in a lot of ways from a game that doesn't have the drop dash. And if you've played Sonic Origins, you know, where you're playing Sonic 1 or 2, or even 3 with the drop dash, it just feels fundamentally different. Like the platforming challenges, you're engaging with them in different ways, as well as, you know, sections where you're going to want to keep your speed up to get to different platforming areas and whatever. Like, it just fundamentally changes the game. And it, I would argue, goes against a lot of classic Sonic's core level design principles. And just like, you know, classic Sonic as a whole in a lot of ways. But I don't think that necessarily makes them worse, in the same way that having the homing attack doesn't make the games or the levels or, you know, anything worse. Just because it feels better to play in a lot of ways, in my opinion, right? Like, the drop dash just feels good to use in any Sonic game, really, in my opinion. And I think the same goes for the homing attack, where while it might fundamentally change how you engage with the games and everything, it is still, you know, it feels good to use. So having it, in my opinion, is just a pro. Full stop, right? Anyway. I'm glad I was able to get that a second try. I didn't have to play through that level a third time, or a fourth time, actually. And, like, obviously, it's weaker than the spin dash, right? The homing attack, and both the homing attack and the drop dash, which gives the spin dash, you know, its own utility still. I would argue that's less true in this game, just because obviously the spin dash isn't nearly as good in this game as it was, like, in the classics or whatever. But either way, I think it's still a really fun, cool mechanic that is utilized in a lot of interesting ways, and I think there is still level design that facilitates the use of the spin dash. Also, that homing attack chain, I had no idea that was actually there. The game just was yelling at me to use the homing attack to do that, so it ended up working out. I don't know if that was just like my intuition personally, or if the game was like specifically communicating that, but either way, I think that was a really, really cool that I just kind of knew that was there, even if I didn't actually know it was there, you know? I don't know how on purpose that was on part of the game itself, but I think that was cool. I probably shouldn't have followed the arrows. I probably would have gone to a cooler place if I hadn't followed the arrows. Let me out. It's okay. Oh, are you supposed to jump over that? I'm confused. Okay, yeah. Ugh, that was rude. Jeez. I knew this was here. I did that on purpose, probably. Oh, that one's rude. There we go. At least I had the shield, so I can't be too upset, I guess. Isn't this right above the extra life? That's weird. Oh, that's really cool, actually, where it gives you the extra life if you're, like, you know, not good at the video game. That's actually really smart. Even though you can get it by being good at the video game as well. Okay. That is something I like about Sonic 4 and Sonic 06, apparently. Sonic 06 does really well in that way where it gives things to players who will actually need them, as opposed to players like, obviously, a very experienced Sonic player isn't going to need a lot of extra lives, as opposed to someone who's brand new to the game. They need extra lives, but they're not going to be able to complete difficult platforming challenges to access them. So having ways that aren't difficult platforming challenges, i.e. exploration or puzzles or whatever, as ways to obtain things like extra lives and shields. In this instance, this gimmick, the cannons as a way to do the same thing, I think works really well, in my opinion. And really enhances the level design and a lot of what the game is going for, really. Like, obviously I messed up, and therefore, you know, that brought me to the extra life, even though I skipped it entirely in favor of completing the level sooner. And then obviously going faster is its own reward to more experienced players, in my opinion. As, you know, a more experienced player myself, I think going faster just feels better after having played the game so many times and whatever, that kind of thing. Here we go. I don't really know where I'm going, if I'm being honest, but that's fine. I don't need to know. I'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, this feels like the way forward. Oops. Ooh, that was scary. No! Damn it. Okay, let's see if I can do this successfully this time. Instead of careening into the exit level thing. Like that. There we go. And then straight down should lead me to the Chaos Emerald. Yippee. Dr. Eggman's party. I don't know if I want to go to Dr. Eggman's party. I forgot about this boss. I remember liking this boss, actually. I'm not exactly sure what, like, the primary method of doing this is. This seems correct. This seems to be working so far. Okay, so it seems like that's it. I remember it doing a thing where it, like, spins around or whatever. But that must be if you don't kill it that fast. Interesting. 80,000. That seems like a high number. I feel like after I get the Chaos Emeralds, the rest of the game is going to go by pretty quickly. Like the latter half of the game. Oops. Just because, you know, I won't have to replay levels at all, guaranteed. Hopefully that ends up being the case. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm only like 45 minutes into this. So, yeah. Hour and a half seems pretty reasonable for a full Sonic game. Or, well, full quote-unquote Sonic game. Half full Sonic game, arguably. I forgot that that was a thing that I had to be careful about. My brain just refused to understand that I should not jump into the spikes. Oops. Can I get back up there? Doesn't look like it. I really like the music for this level. This sounds really nice. What do I... I don't know how it expects me to engage with that. I assume that the spikes are there to like, or the enemy is there to be like, hey, you should homing attack here, but then the spikes are like kind of dissuading you from that as a subversion of what the game has been teaching you otherwise. I don't know if that's really what it's trying to communicate, but that's what I'm getting out of it. Also, can you jump off the ball? I have no idea if that's true. That's really cool. Oops. Oops. Immense skill issue on my part, Jesus. Yeah, being able to use the homing attack, come on, really? To, you know, get through this platforming section faster, I think is really cool. And obviously it doesn't trivialize it, because it's apparently pretty difficult to do. I don't know, I'm bad at it, so... Close enough to being difficult, right? Oops. I should be paying more attention, I'm gonna be honest. Oh, okay, should've waited, got it. Good to know for next time. Hey look, it's next time! I know what I'm doing. Probably. I've put like hundreds of hours collectively into a bunch of different Sonic games, so... If not thousands, really. I've played a lot of Sonic through my life. I kind of, like, sometimes I forget how much Sonic I've played as a kid. Because, like, when I think of myself playing Sonic, it's just kind of more recently with doing these reviews and whatever. But throughout the course of my life, I have played quite a bit of Sonic, even if it was only a few games when I was a kid. I don't know, the classics weren't exactly my speed when I was younger, but as I've matured, I've recognized the value that they have and have genuinely come to enjoy some of them. Not all of them. I still think that, oops, I still think like 3 and Knuckles is vastly overrated. For instance, I don't specifically love Mania. Like obviously it's not a classic, but 2D Sonic game in the vein of the classics. I think Mania is also overrated. Personally, I don't love Mania. But Sonic 2 I think is really, really good. And I really enjoyed CD when I played it, for instance, so I don't know. I understand their merit and understand why people like them. I just prefer more modern games. And I don't know exactly what that says about me. Okay, in theory, that should be my final time entering a big ring, unless I have to do it again. Let's see. 99 rings, that's a lot of rings. I think I like this one, actually. Like, obviously, it's the one where you have to collect a bunch of rings or whatever. But, I don't know, the way it's laid out really feels like a culmination of all the special stages, where you're expected to navigate it quickly and learn it on the fly as well. But also, you know, decide when is worth going out of your way for a bit of extra time or, you know, for a couple extra rings that might be easier than rings later on or whatever. And also, it benefits you, you know, if you mess up, you'll know, you know, how to do better for next time as well. This really feels like what the special stages generally have been leading to. So I think this is a good special stage, especially for the final one. If though, so far it does seem a little easy for the final special stage, but I'm not really complaining about that. I don't think difficulty is necessary for fun. Personally, oh my god, I say as I almost careen into the get out of here button. Okay. Okay. Now I just leave. No! It's so close! Third time's a charm, right? Right after I said this wasn't hard too, Jesus. It's only that one specific direction that's actually difficult. All these other ones are really easy. Why did my voice crack? I don't think I'm drinking enough water. Yeah, and I think this is the one with the most rings as well, so no matter what, you're forced to go this way. Like, I think even if you got literally every single other ring in the entire level... There it is. Ooh, that was... I'm gonna cry! No! Oh no! God damn it. Okay, now that I've actually successfully done the hardest one, the rest should be hopefully pretty easy. All things considered. Oh, there we go. I don't even think I had to go to the last one. Alright, rest of the game should be, go smoother now. Hopefully. Oh yeah, this level. This was my least favorite level in my first playthrough. The only level that I considered, like, actually bad. Just because you can't, like, see upcoming pits that just stop you dead, you know? And whatever. And I don't know, I don't think it's very fun to just not know where anything is. For it to not really be possible to know where anything is either. Oh, I forgot about the torches being like a puzzle element. Hello? Does this ever come down? Music is still pretty good. There we go. I actually think I like this music more than the first act. What, that hurts you? I guess that doesn't really matter. Now that I don't need 50 rings to get to the special stage. That one's mean. I'm sure I can jump around that though if I try hard enough. Like, once you recognize the pattern, I think it works pretty well. But because it doesn't just... Or, you know, because I don't think the pattern is very obvious to begin with. Like, I don't know. I don't think this works super duper well. Maybe I should supersonic. Oh yes, it makes things bright! That makes this level so much better. That's funny. I think supersonic actually jumps higher than normal Sonic in this game as well. Huh, that's so funny. That supersonic just completely nullifies this level's gimmick. I like that. Found a new reason to get supersonic as soon as possible, just so you can not have to deal with this level. That's funny. And there are rings everywhere, so not having enough rings to maintain super form doesn't seem like it's going to be that much of an issue as long as I don't hit a bottomless pit, which doesn't seem super likely in a level like this. Oh, but I still have to engage with the gimmick. Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. You know, I think them naming this level Underwater Maze Escape is like really funny because that's what, I don't know, that seems like, oh, of course, that seems like the kind of level that people would like immediately despise. And I think that's kind of what they were going for, like teasing that idea that this level is going to be oh so terrible. But I don't know, I don't particularly remember this level from my first playthrough, if I'm being honest. Oops. Okay, I don't know how to do that. That one's more a second playthrough thing, I think. Oh, well, okay, that too. I don't think Supersonic can drown as well, but I don't know how true that is. Actually, I remember liking this level quite a bit because the homing attack makes it such that Sonic isn't like incredibly incapable of moving in the water, as opposed to the classics where obviously you didn't have the homing attack, and in Sonic 1 didn't even have the spin dash, so the underwater sections just removed all your mobility options. So obviously this feels a lot better than, like, you know, Labyrinth Zone or whatever. Oh yeah, this is the first level I actually used Supersonic in my first playthrough. And I remember that because one of the upcoming things, one of the upcoming obstacles is one of those tilty thingies in the water. But it has spikes on one side. And I had no idea how to do that without hitting the spikes, but I had Supersonic, so I never figured it out. Yeah, like, obviously this is saying, hey, by the way, you can go fast in the water, right? With the wall coming to crush you. Anyway, Supersonic. I specifically didn't use Supersonic in my first playthrough because I didn't want to, like, not be able to engage with the level design, because the entire point of that was to, like, you know, critique the game, and by extension, the level design. In this instance, I kind of want to just play the game and see what happens. I don't know, I think engaging with the game as a critic, as opposed to, well, okay, critic, not like, I feel like that comes with the wrong connotations, but as somebody who is critiquing the game, as opposed to someone who is just playing the game, I think makes me play the game differently in a lot of ways. And I want to exemplify that through this by, like, intentionally engaging with mechanics that I wouldn't have engaged with had I approached this, you know, again, in the same way as I did the original as a critic. Yeah, this spot, I have no idea how you're supposed to do this without hitting the spikes. I assume you're supposed to, like, tilt back so you don't hit the spikes and then tilt this way again, but you have to, like, I don't know. I don't know how long that would take or anything. I assume that's how you do that, though. That makes sense to me. Wait, what? Where do I even... How do I open that door? What? I'm so confused. I have no idea. Did the button not press? What's going on? What do I do? What the heck? Okay, what if I... What? How did I not see that? Okay, that one's on me for just not seeing that. Trap-filled ruins. I assume this is the same as the Labyrinth zone boss where you have to like chase Robotnik through water. Through rising water specifically. I don't remember, it's been a while. I think that like doing the homing attack to hit Robotnik, pushing you really far back is a good balance. I feel like the obstacles are also just generally a lot more fun. One of my biggest problems with the obstacles in Labyrinth Zone was that these spikes were used a lot, and you just kind of, I don't know, getting past them was really frustrating because you just had to wait most of the time. I don't know. Again, the homing attack and having the spin dash also obviously mitigate that a lot. Oh, okay. So that's only the first part of the boss. If I remember correctly, in Labyrinth Zone, that was the whole boss. Just gotta not get crunched. What? That's the whole thing? Okay, I assume there's more. Interesting. I hit him? Okay. Oh, there you go. Metropolis Zone 2.0. Metropolis Zone, but better. I don't know. It's actually been a long time since I played Metropolis Zone. I played it in Origins, back when I played Origins, but it's been a while since I played Origins, so... I don't know. I do... Oh, okay. I was gonna say I do remember liking most of this zone except for that, and lo and behold. That happened to be exactly where I was about to talk about it, even though I didn't remember it at all. There's a lot of instances of like automation, I feel like, where obviously you're like being blasted from vent to vent, but going faster requires entirely skipping that automation and intentionally going past it, you know? Which I feel like is a very uncommonly noticed thing. A lot of Sonic games, you know, they're critiqued for having too much automation, but a lot of the time you're not even supposed to engage with the automation if you want to do well in the level. Like here, you know, obviously a lot of the times you can skip the automation to just go faster. I think Supersonic can be crushed to death. Which shouldn't be too much of an issue because of how quickly you move, but I believe that is a possibility that I need to keep in mind. Overall, there is obviously very little automation in this game, as opposed to, you know, a lot of other Sonic games. And that's not really a complaint I hear levied at this game at all. Oops. But, you know, that is a thing worth mentioning, that people don't like automation generally in Sonic games. Hence why Sonic Forces is considered the worst Sonic game in a lot of ways. I haven't played Forces in a long time. I don't remember like hating it when I played it, but I also didn't like play it that much. I think I played it through once. Didn't even like go for most of the collectibles or anything. I can't imagine if I played it now I'd like it quite as much, but we'll see. You know, maybe supersonic speed is actually detrimental in this level. Ugh. Oh, I think that's interesting, where there are specifically obstacles that are designed to counter supersonic. In the final level, where you would, you know, most likely have supersonic at this point. I think that's interesting. Wait, can I just... What? What do I do here? Oh, the middle one must have taken me higher. Do these not line up? That's kind of unfortunate, actually. I would have expected these to, like, line up properly, but I guess not. Weird. Also, I think I've died 3 times through this entire game. I don't know what that says about the game and about me, but here we are. Oh yeah, the low frame rate cogs. I forgot about this. Oops. Gears? I don't know. What's the difference? Is there a difference between gears and cogs? Actually, I have no idea. I don't know. This is one of them. The game called it a cog, I think, so that's what I'll go with. Oops. That's kind of on me for just holding forward and praying instead of actually trying to engage with the platforming, I think. Oh yeah, this thing. These are a little slow, but I know they're used specifically for, like, tense platforming situations later, so I don't think the slow speed is necessarily an issue. Okay, I'm gonna supersonic, just for fun. Oh, that makes these move faster, too. I didn't know that. That's cool. Lets me skip a lot of the platforming, too. Jesus. I think Supersonic's implementation here is really interesting. I don't know how it's done in other classic Sonic games, but here I think it's really fun. Especially because you can replay levels, so if you're, like, struggling, you know, on a specific level, you can always just go do a different zone first and then come back to it once you have Supersonic, which I think is really interesting. And, like, obviously Supersonic isn't required to beat the game or whatever, but regardless, I think it's interesting that that is an option that you have, because that's not really a thing you can do in the older classic Sonic games. Or, in fact, in most Sonic games, as far as I remember. Though, granted, I haven't played a ton of 2D Sonic games. I remember hating this part without Supersonic. That... okay. Again, really comes down to just, like, you can skip certain things, basically, that you're either struggling with or not enjoying doing once you have Supersonic unlocked, which I really like. Okay, I remember this third level being pretty difficult. Guess we'll see how true that holds to be. Impending Doom. I remember liking most of it, except for one specific part, because of how you're supposed to navigate it. It feels very trial and error-y. It's very trial and error is the point. I also know that these pistons don't come back up once they're closed, so need to hurry up and get through them before that happens. So you have the overall time pressure, but you also have the localized time pressure of the individual permanently closed pistons, which I think is interesting. And, like, I do really enjoy that it acts as, like, a test of your mastery over the other gimmicks in this zone. And like I mentioned in the full video, I do kind of wish that the other levels, or the other zones rather, where the final zone, or the final act of the zone rather, was a test of mastery over the other gimmicks of the zone, but I don't know, I think it works best here in Mad Gear and wouldn't work quite as well for the other games, or rather for the other zones. I don't know how true that holds to be, but, like, I don't know, platforming through the dark and, like, testing your mastery of that, I don't think would be super fun. So, I don't know. I'm not too upset that they didn't go with that, but regardless. This feels a lot more spectacle than anything, if I'm being honest. Or the running along the gear there. Supersonic. Why not? Obviously, a lot of the obstacles in this area will just crush me, so I don't think Supersonic will be too incredibly useful, but I think will overall prove to be nice to have. That instance is a prime example of why, because the spikes do not matter. This part, that's the part that I hated in my initial playthrough, because the way that you navigate it, you have to jump at specific times rather than just, like, jumping over all of them or whatever. The way you respond to the entire platforming area is its own thing, as opposed to each of the individual pistons being its own response, if that makes sense. So you have to have a very specific response to it. I don't know if what I said just made any sense at all, but that's, I think, the best way I can describe it. So yeah, you hold forward, if I remember correctly, and then only jump at the last one there. And you just kind of have to figure that out. That's the only way to get through that, as far as I know. Oop, that's... I didn't take damage from those spikes. I'm not complaining. There we go. I think that's the end. Yep. Okay, second to last boss, I think. I think there's one final zone. I don't quite remember. It's been a while. Yeah, you have to... Okay, that seems kind of annoying. Oh, right. Little Eggman. I forgot about the little Eggman bombs. They just kind of have to avoid. What? Why did they just stop bouncing? That's really annoying. What? Where's my ring? That's so mean. Did my controller come unplugged? No, okay. It's over. Is it over? Why are his arms so long? I forgot how long his arms are in this game. Okay, it's not over. Good to know. I kind of figured. Yeah, that's why I don't remember having to... Or the bombs behaving the way they do. Because of this part where they do this. I don't know how to consistently avoid that, if I'm being honest. There we go. Easy. I love the animations in this game. Like, say what you will about the weird lighting. I think if the whole game had the cel-shaded aesthetic, rather than just Sonic, it would look a lot better. But, I don't know. Anyway, say what you will about the aesthetics of this game. I think that the animations look really good overall. Alright, final boss. I think it's a, like, boss rush of all the game's bosses, and then one final boss. I don't remember. I guess now is a good time. Oh, hey, it's a boss rush with alterations. That's cool. Anyway, I think now is a good time to give some not final thoughts per se, but you know, like thoughts that I've had throughout this run. I think this game is really good still. I really enjoy this. A lot of the classics I end up just bouncing off of really quickly, but I don't know. I've had a good time playing this through and haven't had any troubles wanting to see it through. I don't really understand why people dislike this game so much. I just think it's a really solid Sonic game. Probably one of my favorite 2D Sonic games, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I'd call it my absolute favorite 2D Sonic game, but it's pretty good. What? Why wasn't that? Okay. I say that. Every time I say I like this game, something happens. I don't know. The game doesn't want me to like it, but I think it's really fun and I'm having a really good time with it. Or, well, had a really good time with it, I suppose, at this point. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do this with episode 2, because I know I don't like episode 2 as much. But, I don't know. I feel like after doing this with episode 1, it makes sense to do it with Sonic, or with episode 2. I don't know. What? It bounced me in the hole. That's mean. At least there's a checkpoint after all the bosses. I think that makes this less arduous. And, you know, with 75 lives. I thought that was going to kill me. But instead, it let me get a free hit. I don't know. Yeah, either way. I've been really enjoying this game. Oh. Again, every time I say I'm enjoying the game, I get hit by something. I think this is a good game. I think it's really fun, and I've enjoyed playing it a lot. And, like, I understand if it's not to your tastes, because it's very much not like the classics, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's, personally, to my tastes, better than the classics, but again, I understand if you disagree with that notion. I wonder if you do all the bosses hitless, if there are, like, just enough rings to transform into Supersonic before the actual final boss. Like, after the boss rush? I don't know. I think that'd be cool if that was the case. but I'm not good enough at the game, and I don't feel like going back through and counting, so I'll never know, but... I survived! Hey, there we go. I wasn't expecting to survive that, let alone win on that hit. I think it'd be funny if it was like 1 ring short, if there were only 49 rings in this whole level or something. I really like that it's only the second phase of this boss, actually, because the first phase kind of sucks. I don't like the first phase of this boss, personally. There we go. I wonder how the spike balls bounce, if any differently. Oh, they don't. Okay. That explains that. There we go. Okay, final boss time. Ah, yes, the Death Egg robot. I kind of forgot it was the Death Egg robot, if I'm being honest. Oh, I remember hating this boss, actually. Oh, no. I guess we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if it's as bad as I remember. So far, it seems better than the actual Death Egg robot, if I'm being honest. I don't know how much of that is a symptom of, like, modernity or what. Or just having the homing attack making this feel better of a fight. Lots of opportunities to get hits in. Oh, okay. Do you think Sonic lets him get away? Or do you think Eggman actually runs faster than Sonic? I think it's, or as fast as Sonic at least. I think it's funnier to believe that Eggman runs as fast as Sonic. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Ouch. Can I have my rings, please? Or a ring, at least. There we go. Oh yeah, doesn't he, like, get one of his hands stuck in the ground and you have to... What's happening? Oh, okay. Second phase. Oh, right. I think this phase, oh my goodness, is why I didn't like this boss. Why did the ring do that? What? Excuse me. Excuse me, please. I assume the timing is different. Nope, the timing is exactly the same. I imagine I can't just hit him whenever I want. Whoa. What? Oh. Okay. I don't know if I could... I don't know if I knew that I could get 4 hits last time I did this fight. What? Oh, okay. That might make this significantly shorter than I remember, but this stage has still gone on for, you know, almost 6 minutes so far. I think the fist behaves differently now. Maybe not. Not yet. What? You have to specifically homing attack it? That's dumb. Okay. Wow, that's really annoying that I have to redo the entire final boss fight again. I have no idea what the timing is to jump across that. Oh, I have an alarm going off again. Shut up. Wait, what? What did I even get hit by there? I'm so confused. I don't know why I took damage. Wait, what? Why didn't you keep jumping? What's the rationale behind, like, how many times he jumps? What? He's not shooting his fist? I don't understand how this boss fight works. It seems inconsistent, and I don't know if it actually is or not. Like, what? Why did I take damage there? That doesn't make sense. And, of course, okay. Like, what? Why did I die there? That's annoying. That's really, really annoying that that's even possible. I assume it's because I'm touching the red part instead of the black part, but there's no... or I don't know if I got that backwards. Either way, there's no indication that that should hurt me. Everything other than this boss is great. It's too bad I didn't beat the game with 69 lives, but... It's weird that the timing on this specifically is exactly the same as the first phase. Might be a little bit faster, actually. I don't think so. What the? Okay, whatever. Okay, that's the way to do it. attack from the other side so you get pushed toward him. Seems to give you slightly more time to actually do an attack. Wait, what? Okay. Interesting. What? What was I supposed to do there? Huh? What happened? I'm baffled. I want to be on this side of it so that when I hit it... Okay, maybe not that close to him, but you get the idea. I wonder if the actual amount of times you hit him matters, or if it's more down to like how many cycles you've been through him. I don't think either one would be particularly surprising. There we go. Wait, but isn't the floor still gonna fall? Okay. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Sonic 4 Episode 1. I really enjoyed this game. Except for the final boss. Not sure what it is with Sonic games having terrible final bosses, but either way, yeah, I really like this game. I don't understand why people hate it so much. The gimmicks are really fun. I think it looks pretty nice, especially at this high of a resolution. I assume the Steam version looking terrible is just kind of down to the resolution specifically. I don't know. I like it. Highly recommend playing it if you like 2D Sonic games and aren't necessarily a big fan of classics, or if you just want something different from the classics or whatever. I don't know. I had fun. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all, and I don't know how to end this.